Hi, Grandma. This is a presentation I put together regarding William H. Wolfe, otherwise known as Harry, or your father. Born on February 13th, 1889, and died on January 6th, 1934. Thanks to Aunt Lisa and company for all their hard work. And this is just a little bit about what I found when I went to Fernwood Cemetery in West Philadelphia. So the front gates to the cemetery. It's about 10 minutes outside of downtown Philadelphia on the western side of the city. I found out that he was in the cemetery in the early October, and I knew that I'd be passing through Philadelphia a few weeks later. So it made sense that I would stop and take some pictures and find out any other information I could for the family and pass that along to you. As I pulled in to the office right through the gates on the left, this stone appeared. And this is just a memorial for all the Jewish war veterans and Irish war veterans that were buried in the cemetery. I don't know how many veterans were buried there, and I'm not even sure which ones that I could tell, but it did appear that a quite a few veterans were buried at this particular cemetery. In front of that stone was this big cannon, and I'm not sure the significance of the cannon, but it was there, I think, just as a memorial for all these veterans that were buried alongside each other at this cemetery. Right behind there is the office for the cemetery, and the people in that office were very helpful in helping us find the plot. And they had even warned me before we even went out that we may or may not find a gravestone based on the year that he was buried. And they gave me some markers to look for to make sure that I was in the right spot. So we set out and on our journey to find Harry's resting place. And this was the view from the office as we were setting out. And that's the view of, or the skyline of Philadelphia. And I thought that was a really neat picture to take a look at and to see sort of where this all is in relation to the city and just how close it was to Philadelphia. Once we drove up to where we thought the plot was, we got out of the car and I recorded a short video about how I was feeling and gave a sort of a look at what the area looked like prior to finding the spot. So we'll take a look and listen and we'll move on with our presentation. At the time, I was really hoping for a gravestone, an actual marker as to where he was buried. But unfortunately, I did not find that. All we found was a patch of grass and a big lot, and you can see the this area in particular was the area of interest, and based on what the office told us, and the marker was in front of the Nagel Merkel marker, that this was the spot where he was buried. There was an empty spot over here, and at the time of my visit, I really thought maybe some additional family members were buried there, but that did not be the case. At least at this point, we're not sure. But this is the for certain the resting place of your father. Here are some different looks from different angles. and see within that circled area that that was the plot, and this was the overall big plot right here. If we were to take a look at just exactly where they were, this tombstone right here, the Ubilees, as I will talk about later in this presentation, was quite a common name that was found kind of circling this family plot. So I don't know if there was any relation to this family or if they were friends or it was just pure coincidence. Here's another picture, and we can see that I had circled in the previous slide right here. This is resting place. Here's sort of looking down to see where the arrow was pointing. That's where we're fairly certain he's buried. And here's a look from the other side. You can see that that brown area is where he was buried. Now, I did look in the ground and I was trying to see if there was a stone at one point, and there did not appear to be any kind of marking whatsoever as to him being buried there. But that is the spot that, again, we believe he was buried. I have to tell you, it was very emotional while I was there to be in that spot, and that's it's an emotion that I haven't felt before, and it sort of leads me to believe that I was in the right spot. I just had this feeling where I knew I was supposed to be looking right here. It was an unmistakable feeling that that I had made a connection with my great grandfather right here. Here's some of the surrounding gravestones, and again, I'm not sure there's any relation to these families, but I thought I'd take some pictures in case the genealogist or Aunt Lisa or anyone else knew or had heard of any of these names uh, throughout time. So Nagel Merkel, his grave was directly in front of the Nagel Merkel sign. A tomb was a common name around. Again, here's another Nagel one, and the Jubilee, which I found was very interesting. We probably saw more Jubilees and Nagels surrounding this particular site. And again, it could just be pure coincidence. And it was such a beautiful day, and I took a look at the flag, and I I just felt very, very grateful that I was able to come here and visit, take some pictures, and I hope that one day you might even be able to come out here and take a look at this site. But again, thank you for Aunt Lisa and all her work and informing me about the whereabouts of your father. And I'm just so fortunate that I was able to stop and take these few pictures. I hope now that he is found, the site was found, that more family members are able to come out and visit.